Except if anybody needs use of the frequency, the 2 a.m. net will begin in approximately 3 minutes. KC9UDX net control here. Good evening. This is Kilo Charlie 9er Uniform Delta X-Ray. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation, and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting, or if, like me, you're not transmitting, if you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kcs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, come now, please.
W9JCC. Good evening, Matt. I'll be a short time tonight.
This is November 9, Charlie X-Ray Kilo. Hi, Matt.
This is November 9, Foxtrot, Sierra, Echo.
right, well, that's our fastest start in a while, I think. Maybe last month was the same, I don't remember. Anyway, recognizing Frank, W9JCC, welcome to the net. Carol, N9CXK, welcome to the net. Steve, N9FSE, welcome to the net. Was there somebody else? Come now, please. All right, hearing none, I'm going to go straight to you, Frank, because you're a short time, and then I'll let you decide if you are still short time. I'll send it over to W9JCC from KC9UDX.
2 to 3 more there, man.
Yeah, you have KB9PRF.
And AB9DW.
All right. Now I got AB9DW. I didn't catch that other one. So station with the Kilo Bravo 9er, please come again. Well, I'm not hearing anything. Steve, I'll see if you can hear anything.
Keep colliding with him. That's Dave KB9PRF. I have him S8. If he's at home, he's usually like Germantown area. We're both checked into the same weather net right now up in Washington County as well. Here at the usual tower site. So you can log him in, and you got Dale, I believe, and almost like you didn't get him either, and we did a lot of advertising. Back up to you, Matt.
All right, I apologize. Recognizing KB9PRF and AB9DW, and thank you, Steve. I'll welcome you guys to the net, and then we'll go to Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC. Yeah, I heard Dave okay. I didn't get a good estimate reading on him, but he was perfectly readable here. Not quite as strong as some of the others. Yeah, I'll probably stick around for 1 or 2 rounds, and then I'm going to get out of here. I got a doctor appointment in the morning. I get a shower and everything, and so we won't stay on too long today. Yeah, I wonder how many made it to the South Milwaukee Amfest. I did make it down there, but I didn't stay long. Riptops were doggone hot, and I wasn't selling much. I had a whole bunch of stuff to sell. I think I sold one item for $10, which got me and my grandson, and that's covered the cost of getting in, and then a little other takers. So we just decided it wasn't worth it, so we packed it up and went back home about, I think we left at 9 o'clock, but didn't see too many people I knew there. I did run into one guy that checked into the 40-meter area net very seldom, but I kind of recognized his call, and it was kind of nice to meet him face-to-face there. Anyway, I'll turn back to you there, Matt. Let you get the net started here. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And fine business. I wish I could have gone to that Swap Fest. That's another one I missed. I've missed almost everything amateur radio related this year. Just way too busy. Too much working at work and too much working at home. I missed field day. I did have a 10-meter radio on in the driveway on field day and heard absolutely nothing, but I suppose 10 meters was not open. That was the best I could do. I did spend a week camping in the CETA, and I thought about taking along a transceiver, but I just did not have the ability to do that in the short time that we had to pack. But it wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have had time to do anything like that anyway. We had nothing but rain and mosquitoes. We had heavy rain, We had severe weather kind of rain, and it just rained all the time. There was just no time to be spending doing that kind of stuff. So other than that, all I can say is another month gone by. I've got a vehicle mostly torn apart down to the frame and the axles. Hope to get the axles off by the weekend, fix up the frame, and send it out for sandblasting. Other than that, working overtime every day except for today. Today is my only 8-hour day for 2 weeks. 3 weeks, I think. I don't remember. But it's, except for my vacation, been overtime every day. And probably next week the same. So, with that, next we'll go to Carol, N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX, and I'm Matt, N9CXK. Well, what do I have to report here? I am hearing the lightning in my radio here, but it's not too bad down this way. I'm using my amplifier tonight. I have the adjustments like we finished up the last time, and seems to be working good. I think everybody can hear me all right. Enjoyed the Hamfest a lot. Parked so that we were out of the sun. And I don't know, I visited with just a lot of people, lots of people. I really didn't see too many people from the 10-meter nets, although Nick, K9TNN, was there. We visited for quite a while, and then that was about it. But I think I probably made $150, and I spent my entrance fee, and I spent $10 for a little weather station from the guy next to me, because I didn't really get to walk around. I sped around one time, and I didn't get to do all the aisles, so I probably missed a lot, but I didn't need a lot either. Just as happy the way it turned out. We packed up and we got out of there about 10:45, I think. So it was early for me, but it was appropriate. Yeah, it was getting hot and sticky. And what else can I report out here? I don't know. I've been messing around with some Kenwood radios. I got a Kenwood VHF and a UHF NXDN radio. And I got the software running, and I got both of those programmed up. So I was happy about that. That's just another fun thing. A couple more nice transceivers here. But other than that, yeah, field day. I did go out to the field day where my club, the Lakes Area Amateur Radio Club, had their get-together, and we were out at the Kettle Moraine John Muir bicycle trails, and we had a beautiful building with, we had some big fans in there. There was actually a bathroom and water, so it was pretty nice. But 10 meters, 15, as flat as a pancake. I didn't really hear much of anything. One guy was working 20, and it seemed like a lot of stations, but he couldn't work anybody. But they had a dipole practically on the ground, so I think that's probably why it doesn't surprise me at all. So, and I do have my 220 radio running. Got kind of confused between the antennas outside for a little bit here. I think I got it straightened out now. But, yeah, the 220 radio's running. Really don't hear anything, but it's nice to know that everything's working. The antenna's working, the radio's working. I can kerchunk some of the repeaters, and that's good. Matt, I don't envy you at all tearing a car down to the frame, but it must be a car that you really like, and you want to make it new again, so sounds like a good job. I don't know how you're sending out the frame of the car. I imagine you're calling them and they come over with a flatbed and throw it on there for you. I can't imagine you carrying it in any of your vehicles, but I don't know that. But that'd be putting a car into a car. I don't think so. So, yeah, really appreciated the little bit of rain we did get here. We haven't gotten very much. You guys are having all these storms, and we get 5/100th or a tenth of an inch, maybe even a quarter of an inch, and that's about it. But my plants are doing well. I was doing some transplanting today and moving things around, and then I was laying bricks for a couple hours, making a little patio area behind the garage. I gave up on that pretty fast. Over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. And I guess I'll start with the frame. I will be taking that across town to the guy that does the sandblasting. I have done this one time before, back in 08. It was exactly the same type of vehicle. The other one was 2 years older. This one's a 1990, that one's a 88. This is a 1990 Jeep Wrangler 4 KD9WFA. She, when I talked to her a long time ago, she wanted to spend time rebuilding it and do the work. And like everything else she says she wants to do, well, it's fine as long as somebody else is doing the actual work, I guess. I don't know. But we're doing it. And my son is actually doing most of the work while I'm at work. And as far as rain, I guess it has rained a lot here. Mostly I don't notice too much because I'm working or sleeping or working. And when it rains I can't work outside, and that's about it. Otherwise, if it rains the rest of the time, I don't even really notice. And now, I was going to comment on some radios you picked up. And I don't recall, but you mentioned 220. And I've got a very dead 220 transceiver sitting right here above me. I didn't realize there were that many repeaters online anymore. Back when that thing worked the last time, I could get on 1 or 2 repeaters, and one of them had been recently taken down. But I guess I've heard that that's been put back up somewhere. And I'd like to fix that radio, but it's like everything else around here, it'll get done someday. And we'll go next to Steve N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Alright, thank you, Matt. And hopefully Dave's monitoring with another radio, but if he isn't, they've expired the warning, but they put it up to an advisory in Washington County there till, I don't know how long the advisory lasts to, but they expired the warning at 8/11. They have added a flood advisory for Dodge County till something like 10 o'clock or something there. Big pile of rain. Till 10 p.m. So a little bit going on there, a little weather event for them. Just Carol mentioned the light thunder, and so I went out to the doorway and I didn't hear nothing here. Good to hear Craig out here in the update. I must have missed him at the Ham Fest. We enjoyed the Ham Fest, sold a couple of items, enjoyed that. Forgot to bring a few things, but at least I got some stuff out of a couple of things out of the basement. Nice. Pleased to report that about the Ham Fest. I'll put that right down here. If I can read my notes. Oh my Lord. That's some sort of something I wanted to know. Yeah. Something at NCS. Let's see here. So I'm looking at last month. No wonder it doesn't make any sense. So, let's see here. Very good on camping here in Necedah for our field day was with the FM 38 group in Green Lake County, so that was an enjoyable time up there. And of course they tear out for the Humstrom Fest up in Cecil, where I attended with N90AW, and he couldn't talk him in the field day, but at least he attended the Humstrom, and we got to see Chad Shabilsky play. That's always a nice venue there, and they got the newly rebuilt Hughes' Double Vision up there. So that was very delightful, and then back for field day to wrap things up. 20, I guess, was wall-to-wall. I didn't play on that band. I usually played on the near-dead or near-dead bands. 10 was pretty rough, but 15 picked up Sunday morning. I was able to pick up the Virgin Islands then, and I was just pretty giddy about that. And lots of Puerto Rico also. Would usually expect that the night before, but 15 was working for that. Our group runs 9 Echo, so we were able to fill in all but a 2 Canada sections, so that was very enjoyable that way. And it always seems like we're behind the 8 ball, but we filled in a lot more sections. It seems like quicker than usual, so that's my field day report there. Yeah, nothing on 6, although what was it, Saturday? 6 was unglued. It was voice out there. There was lots of traffic. I made one contact to Kentucky or somewhere, and could have done more, but I was heading out to take care of business, sit on the river instead of sitting behind the microphone. Let's see, I got Frank is screaming here. I got this signal at 40 to 60 over S9 that was bouncing a little bit there. Let's see here. Too bad he couldn't sell more, and seeing the guys at the 40 meter AM, that reminded me of Jeff Main. The 9XRT was there, and he arranged it last year and this year a little AM dinner. So you got a lot of AMers turning out lately to this one, since there's not too many other AM events in Illinois and stuff. But I think it was mostly Wisconsin AMers, and they get together like we do at 38 at the Herbs Mug afterwards. Let's see here, Carol. What do you got? Oh yeah, very good on the Kenwood NXDN. We got count them, one hammer beater near the zoo on NXDN. I got radio at the shop. Actually, might have a couple of radios programmed for that, but only go there on special occasions generally. But make a sked, I'll pop in there and see if you can hear it, I guess. I've done that with Ray and Larry. Ray, W9EFJ, and Larry, WB9, BW, what's this called? BWB, I think. They were playing with that too the other day, and good to hear you had a nice field day. So, yeah, Green Lake County, South Milwaukee. What do I got here? 20. I'm trying to figure out what I wrote, what this even means. All of my notes are so short of hand, I don't even know. Dale is not real strong, and like I mentioned before, Dave KB9 PRF, I had an S8, and I don't know if you want me to handle those guys, Matt. So there's my old ball of funness here. N9FSE on the monthly. And like I mentioned briefly before, I was trying to zip back and forth on the channels here with Washington County and here. I beat the bush, as you may have noticed. I threw out. That's maybe why we got a couple. I threw an email out off the really old list and cleared out a few silent keys, but I still got half of the list bouncing, and then made some extra noise on the Wisconsin Amateur Radio Facebook page, and invited everybody to join my AM Wisconsin list on Facebook as well. So I got a couple more signed up there. So lots of banging AM drum here. N9FSE, Matt, what do you know?
All right. Thank you, Steve. Fine business, and thank you for doing that. What do I know? Not too much. I did not realize there was severe weather in the area. I heard some of the lightning on the radio, and I didn't, by the sound of it, didn't expect it to even be close enough to matter. But I guess as I look at the radar, I can understand. And I guess I forget something you said reminded me. I forgot to mention this. When I was up in Necedah camping, near Necedah, I had an opportunity to sit down and relax for a while between the rain, and I turned on my HC and was scanning, and I heard some kind of net on FM 38. And I tried and I could not get my Alinco on the right PL tone. And I think I finally figured it out, and the net was over. So that was my one attempt at amateur radio, which is actually more than I've done otherwise in a couple of years here, I guess. And one thing I forgot to mention, I'm not sure if we're on YouTube. YouTube is putting the clamps down on me. There's a lot of things I am not allowed to do on YouTube anymore, and I'm not sure if live streaming is one of them. It acts like it's working, but I cannot verify that it is because I cannot find the stream if I look for it. But that would typically happen anyway. I can never find my own live stream video while it's running. I can find it afterward, but not during. So I'm not sure if we're on YouTube or not. I suppose Dale will probably know that when we get that far. And unfortunately, I'm not looking at everybody's signal strength tonight. I'm kind of concentrating on my transmit meter. I can watch transmit and I can watch receive, but not both. So I'm leaving it on transmit. As you could hear earlier, I was having a little bit of trouble. But the radio seems to have settled down like it always does. Someday I've got to find a new tube for that. I'm kind of thinking the tube is the problem. So I guess the only way to find out will be to replace it and see if the problem persists or changes in some way. And next, we have Dave, KB9PRF. Dave, I hope you can hear me. I don't know if I can hear you because it sounds like I was transmitting at the same time you were. So KB9PRF from KC9UDX. Steve, I'm going to refer to you. I could not hear much of that. N9FSE, go ahead.
Oh, Dave, you were asked to be checked out from the weather net, so I sort of advised that you were over here. So since I was bouncing back and forth, I didn't pick up a whole lot of things. The main thing was he heard me mention it on the weather net, and that's what brought him down here. Is the first one thing I did capture. So I'm sorry for not paying attention, but also trying to help out our net control on Washington County there was kind enough to be there while me, the SOCOM representative, is playing here on AM. Matt?
All right, well, thank you for trying. I apologize, Dave. Hopefully you can hear me. I cannot hear you. I can tell you're there and I can tell you're talking, but I cannot pick out more than about 1 out of every 10 words. And unfortunately, that's just my receiver. Someday I hope to improve that, but until then, this is what we've got. Speaking of which, my radio is a Gonset Communicator 4. It's older than the hills, and it works, but not all that good. So I apologize, but next we'll go to Dale, and thank you, Steve. Dale AB9DW. Hopefully I can hear you this month from KC9UDX. Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, we had an interesting couple of weeks ago, and we only attended for about 3 hours, so I didn't really contribute that much, although it's always fun to get out there and stand with that. We did okay. We submitted our
All right, well, I apologize, Dale. When you started out, I could hear everything. Kind of a weak copy, but I could understand you very well. And then something happened. It's like something else, some other transmitter somewhere turned on. And it's wiping you out. Not something locally at all. And I really don't think it's anything on your end, but I could tell you're there. Didn't get anything otherwise, unfortunately. And we are at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please.
This is Kilo Sierra, Niner, Quebec.
And Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
All right, got 2 more. Recognizing KS9Q Jim, welcome to the net, and WB9BWP Dave, welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. But I'm gonna sneak in Frank here because I think Frank didn't want to stick around for a couple more turns. And by the time it gets back around to Frank, it's probably going to be later than he wants to be here. So, Frank W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC. First of all, on field day, I did not attend any field days. Westside used to have field days back just before COVID. Actually did pretty good. We won number 1 in the nation in our category. And I don't remember what the category was, but we did a lot of mainly HF. And I've been spending a lot of time harvesting water for the garden. And now we have 2 rain barrels that are full. I haven't had to tap the rain barrels for about 2 weeks because I get so much get some things done. And good hearing everybody. Signal colorize, Matt, you're your usual 40 over 9. Carol was S9. Steve, FSE is 25 over 9. Bill and Dave are both S5 and copy 100%. And I didn't get a reading on Jim or Dave there, but we're coming through okay. So anyway, back to net control, and I will pass along my 73s. I'll just listen for a little bit and then turn this thing off here. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. I will say 7-3 to you. Thank you for being here. It's good to hear you. And yeah, that is a good problem to have, is having too much water. I have a rain barrel that nothing is feeding it, so there's a little 2-inch bunghole in the top of it, and that's all it gets, so it's still filling up. But I suppose if I had time and ambition, I could do something better. And I guess we'll let you get up early tomorrow and hopefully get done whatever you need to get done. And next we'll go to Jim, KS9Q from KC9UDX.
Okay, well, KC9UDX and the net. This is KS9Q. And good evening to everybody. I am working off a new radio tonight. Just put an ICOM IC9700 into service, and I'm liking the audio. It's doing a really nice rendition of everybody's signal. A little easier to see the spectral display on it too. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to tweak with the transmitter too much, so hopefully we are pretty close to where we want to be. I've had a chance the last couple of days to bounce a signal off of the International Space Station and work a 13 Colonies station, and I also heard Dave. Unfortunately, I didn't catch RQSO on the recording because by the time we got to that point, Doppler had already moved the frequency, and I don't have the auto tracking set up on the 9700 yet. So we'll get to that eventually. And other than that, not too much to report at this point. I will turn it back to Net. And Frank, I'm pretty sure we're hitting each other's radios pretty hard. So I'm not worried about signal levels. I think we're both doing pretty good. Back to Net. This is KS9Q.
All right, thank you, Jim. Fine business. I was going to say, it sounds like you're on a new radio, and you are. So your audio is very good, as usual, but it is definitely different than in the past. So I could tell you're on something different. And fine business on the ISS. I have never been able to do anything with that kind of stuff. I'm never in the right place at the right time with the availability to do it, which is a shame. It'll be fun to at least listen. And well, I was going to say something else now and I forgot. But we'll go next to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. I'd like to hear everybody except for Dave. That's this one. And yes, I was surprised to hear Jim last night. I was just using my FM rig. I did not have it on the big radio here, so I have to turn the knob to change frequencies. I guess in a way you could say it would be kind of bizarre, right? Two people, whatever, 10, 15 miles apart, having to use the satellite to talk to each other. And Jim's signal tonight is like, wow, I could definitely felt something was different. And sounds good here and sounds very strong compared to anything I've heard in the past. Yes, you're on YouTube, Matt. After you said that, I went over there and checked. And the usual few seconds away. Oh, what else? We had 0.85 inches of rain here today so far. Since midnight. And that's pretty much just like two big spurts where we did that. Yes, I was at the Amplitude. I was, not the first row probably, second row from the east. Joe and 9UX is next to me. We usually shoot for grouping there. Yet the other days could not make it, otherwise he would have been part of that assemblage there too. I didn't make the money. I pocketed $243. Much of that from $1 and $2 items. The two biggest, I had a $50 sale that was ham related, and the second biggest sale was $25 for a collection of wooden coat hangers. And then, yep, adding to my many bizarre ham thrust stories. Stand by this moment. Joe came by. I had two space rack boxes for sale. $5 each. He wanted both of the boxes and some stuff off of the $2 table. So it came to $15. And he said, well, I don't want to carry that right now. I'll come back and get it. He paid me the money. I said, okay, fine. I was one of the last people pulling out of the parking lot. The guy never came back. I did not see him around anywhere. So I have his money, and I have the stuff. So, well, I don't know. We'll see. Did not make it to field day anywhere. I was going to try to get up on Sunday and see if there was any 10-meter activity, mainly because I need a bunch of states on 10 meters for 5-band worked-out states. I did not make it, but then I heard everybody saying that 10 was not any good, so I didn't feel bad. I guess that's enough for now. This is WB9, CWC.
All right, thank you, Dave. Yeah, 10 meters was my only attempt, and I heard nothing. Of course, I didn't call anybody either. I didn't put out a call, but I have a reasonable setup out in the driveway. An antenna built and owned by KD9WFA that's out in my trees. And I had a Radio Shack HTX10 on the ground with a battery. And it works very well, and I heard nothing. I think one time I heard a signal scanning, and that was it. And I had that on longer than what the field day hours were. And thanks for the report on YouTube. I looked again, and I just would have no way to verify that. I mean, the streaming software is sending, but that's all I can see. YouTube will not show me my own video while it's live streaming. But that's good to hear that it's working. I do appreciate that. And we are at the bottom of the list again. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. All right, hearing none. And Dave, you mentioned the guy that paid and never came to pick up the item. I forget what it was. I got something for free because of that. It was at that Hamfest too. I was there. I was one of the last people to leave. And I walked past the guy who still had all his stuff set up, and he was taking everything down. And he said that he watched the guy that paid for the item leave, and he didn't know who he was. So he said I could have it, and I don't remember what it is anymore. It was something not real significant, but I did take it because he didn't want to have to take it home. And I want to say it was a 17-inch portable color TV, but it wasn't. That was another item that I bought from the guy at the same time. He was extremely happy to get rid of it, and I'm not even sure if I paid him for it. I think he just gave it to me. And I was very happy to get it. I still do use it. And the TV like that is exactly something I needed, and those are kind of hard to come by these days. Anyway, we'll go back to the top of the list. Let me check the time here. We're still good, so. N9CXK, Carol, it's your turn again from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and everybody else, N9CXK. Very good. Yeah, 17-inch portable color TV. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one of those in a little while. You can't get them at the Goodwill anymore, and the only place I see those is in the big dumpster when we have electronics recycling out here. So I think that's gone that way. But I did have a big 26-inch Thompson TV for a long time. That was an analog TV, but it was connected to about 4 different sources that would all give me channel 3 or audio and video or something. So I used that for a long, long time. Never failed. I think I had it fixed one time. Fixed once by the TV shop that used to run down in Lyons, Wisconsin. They could fix anything. They could diagnose it over the phone in 3 minutes. And, yeah, had them fix it once, and it lasted for another 7-8 years. So I think the days of that are long gone, too. It was good to see Jim. I saw Jim at KS9Q at the Hamfest. We had a little chat. That was pretty nice. Steve, I'm not sure how you put together a ham radio fest and a polka excursion, but I guess they fit together in your head. So that's good. That is good. Being able to find one of those venues and have a good time, that's great. Yeah, our holiday weekend was busy. We had we had family get-togethers, and then we had a family get-together on Friday night, and then we had everybody here on Saturday for the 4th, or I guess it would have been Friday. So it was Thursday, and then Friday we had everybody here for the 4th, and I don't even remember getting up to go to the Hamfest, but I got about 3.5 hours of sleep, and I popped up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 and got ready and headed out the door. Luckily, I had stayed up till midnight the night before getting everything in the car, so did okay there. But yeah, I sold a lot of things that I really wanted to get rid of, but I never thought I'd sell, and those are the things that sold. The one thing I took with me, I was real excited about, was I have a TDR, an ancient TDR that was used on power line cables, but we took it out and hooked it up to some feed lines at We Energy's tower site, and it worked. The calibration on it wasn't perfect because it was not made for hardline or anything, but you could tell, you could see where the end of the cable was, you could see where all the connectors or whatever were in the middle, and yeah, it's kind of a neat thing, but nobody even really looked at it, so I still have that. And after all these years, it just plugs in, fires up, and you hook up the coax. And I don't know much else. I could probably make this my final too. I I just don't have much to talk about. It's been such interesting weather that sometimes I get to sit outside and enjoy it. Sometimes I'm working, and it all kind of blurs together. But yeah, Hamfest turned out very well, I thought, and everybody seemed to be having a good time. And I think there were sales, but I think that most of the buyers. I think that most of the buyers were sellers. I don't know how many people came to just shop, because there was a lot of business done in the early hours, and then after that there were just a lot of stragglers there. But, I said at the Hamfest I was kind of dismayed because there were as many walkers there as people walking around, so it's a little depressing if you think about it. So we don't think about it. But I think maybe just check me out of here, Matt. I'm not going to have too much else to say, but everybody is sounding very good. The only person I cannot hear is Dave PRF also. I listen and listen, but I'm hearing lightning crackles on everybody's signal, so I don't know if there is something coming down towards me, or I can't believe it's still that storm up in Washington County. That's probably been over for a while. So I'm going to say 7-3 to everybody, and really enjoyed being here. Really enjoyed all the traffic. We'll talk to you all very soon. N9CXK 7373.
All right, thank you, Carol. I will say 7-3 to you. And I don't see anything headed your way, but my radar image may be outdated. Looks like everything is to the north. And it's odd because I don't hear too much of it. Sounds like you're hearing more of it than I am. So maybe there is something further in your direction, I don't know. But yeah, you can blame guys like me who couldn't make time to go to the Hamfest. I guess part of the reason it wasn't a top priority for me to go is I was not going to spend any money. There are a handful of things I would like to buy, but they're the things that I have not been able to find at Hamfest the last 5 or 6 I've gone to. And I have a spending moratorium this year. I'm trying not to spend money on stuff like that. And the TVs, useful old TVs are hard to come by. And there are situations where an old TV is better than a new one. Any kind of 1980s or 1990s computer or video game that has a TV output works much better on an old analog TV than any new digital one. And I used to have hundreds of TVs. Me and another guy, we had a hobby of going around picking up TVs off the curb and fixing them up. And I never got around to trying to sell any of those. And I got to a point where I had to pare that stuff down. And I stupidly threw out all of the smaller TVs and kept all the big ones. Brought the big ones home. And those ended up in the garbage too. And I wish I would have kept the small ones. I can use the small ones, I can't use big ones. All the little portable TVs that I wish I would have kept, I had all kinds of them. Anyway, we'll go next to Steve N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Before I take my turn, well, it's not too late here. Is there anyone else that hasn't checked in yet that would like to check into the monthly 2 a.m. net based out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, but we'll take check-ins from anywhere. Anyone, anywhere, call N9FSC on behalf of Net Control, KC9UDX. Over. hoping for a little more beating the drum, getting people excited. But let's finish up the only storm reports are Mayville. At 7:52, they had dispatch in the EM reported minor road flooding on Bridge and Main Street in Mayville. And their dispatch also reported 911 at Dodge County reported at 7:47 a fallen tree on Horicon Street in Mayville. So, strong thunderstorm will impact southern Dodge, it says, through 9:30, so that's still up for another half an hour or something. So, haven't looked at the radar, and I always like looking at the Blitzertung lightning thing to know whether I should be disconnecting things. And a little over a month ago, my brother helped me with getting a wire up, and then he got the lightning suppressor, but I've been chewing on, looking at my ARRL book. I'm almost ready to put my nose back in the polyphaser book. I'm around here at the site here where we got everything bonded super well. And then in my house, it's got, it's like, I don't want to bring the lightning into the shack, but I got to keep it out of the shack, especially if I'm not around to disconnect things. So, figure maybe I'll put in a half a halo system or something and bond that to the house electric, which is not into a ground rod, it's into the water system with the age vintage of my place. I'm like, I don't know if I'm grooving on that so much, but maybe we'll start my own lightning rod near where I put the lightning arrestor for that kind of mayhem. But in the meantime, I got to disconnect it if I'm there to disconnect it. Good on Jim on the new radio. He's sounding great. What did I rate here? Dale had 7 to 8. He had nice loud modulation. It was beautiful. And you can see signs of rain out here, as Dave was mentioning. They're working on the temple north of the tower here, and they're putting in a parking lot, and it seems to be all submersed. Dave also mentioned a no-show for stuff that was sold. And Brian had that this year too. KC9LFR Brian, he sold a tripod. The guys are going to come back for it, and they never show it. So I think he abandoned it there. So either the guy that bought it picked it up, or somebody may have gotten a tripod for nothing. Work my way back up the list here. Good on all the graduation, and I was going to say, life events for my niece is pretty cool. She at the end of June 26th had her. I got to count here now. 2, 4. There's her fifth child. So I got another grandniece, and so before that, my brother and sister-in-law were in town, and we're expecting them to show up around for. See the new little one. We're expecting to see my brother showing up again at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, things happening before the end of the month. I think I saw the flyer for the Racine Megacycle Club, which has recently merged with Lakeshore, but they have a free fest, so that's coming up like August 8th, I think. So I think that may or may not more than likely be before our next net. And I'll probably be down there. Hopefully I can sell the stuff. Some of the stuff I forgot to bring to the South Milwaukee Ham Fest. And cool on YouTube working. Maybe I'll have to dig that up again. And let's see, Frank was also no field day and water harvesting, and talked about the EMers nice. And back to Carol, I like getting. I've been doing that regularly now for the last several years. I'll go for field day. Usually I'm there over Friday night. This time I wasn't feeling. I was kind of sick, so I didn't leave the house Friday night. But I set my alarm, got up early enough, and made it to breakfast with the hams up in Green Lake County, and then I helped them set up an antenna and a few other preparations for this thing. And they're used to me bailing out, so I bailed out for the Humstrom Fest, which is another couple-hour drive, so lots of windshield time that weekend, and I'll probably do it again next season 2, next year. Too bad I have the TDR not sold, but good to have a family get-together there. That is, I've been running through with all the weather reports and all that. Lots going on in the weather situation. If I stick my head out the door, I'm expecting not to see a thunderstorm right overhead. And I haven't checked the radar, like I said. And like I say, I like that blitzer tongue, though. It's pretty cool to see if you're about to get whacked by a lightning bolt. So with that, back to you, Matt. I've gone in circles too many times already here. KC9UDX and the 2 a.m. net, November 9, Foxtrot, Sierra, Echo. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. I gotta apologize. I have not been very good at writing down all of that, so my having woken up at 3 a.m. stuff is starting to set in. Sounds like all of Mayville is shut down. Are there more than 2 streets in downtown Mayville? And well, I think you can add a ground rod. You know, you can put your lightning ground anywhere you want. Just bond it to the ground in your house. I think that would be a preferable way to do it, would be to add a ground rod or something else outside and then bond your water pipe to it. I may have a UFR ground here, and I'm not convinced it is. It may have been a UFR ground enough to pass inspection, but I think it's a fake. I'm pretty sure somebody drove a ground rod into the basement floor after the floor was poured. But I guess without tearing up the floor, it's assumed to be a UFR. I cannot put ground rods near the house. The ground is too soft, and that does not make a good ground. I do believe I have a ground rod at the entrance where my feed lines all come in, but I don't, and it is bonded to the quote-unquote UFR ground inside here, but I don't put too much stock in that ground rod actually doing anything other than being there and being the way you're supposed to do it. Well, like I said, I neglected to write most of that down, so I can't comment on too much of it anymore. And with that, I'm going to send it to Dave, KB9PRF, and we'll see if he's still there and if I can hear anything this time. KB9PRF from KC9UDX. Well, Steve, I'm going to have to defer to you. I think he's done, but I cannot even tell.
Sure, I'll happily relay, and he looks forward to joining us again, sort of backwards to forwards here, but he mentioned about the storms that I mentioned, and he said the ones over Mayville and such is dissipated, but there's another section coming west and east and all that. And, so very good to hear you out here, Dave. And I thought you were in here once before or something at least, but maybe not. But we'll look forward to having you again out here. And I don't know if we've had maybe Matt knows how many stations we had check in from Washington County. So appreciate you joining us here tonight. And he said 73 to everyone. So I wonder. Maybe next month we'll get into it, or unless he still wants to share how many of our 6 check-ins he heard. And I also noted when I was doing my other log for the weather, they had 6 check-ins and we got 6 check-ins, and two of us are in both. Dave, do you have any follow-up on that?
Thank you, Steve. I do appreciate it. And Dave, if you can hear me, thank you. If you can't hear me, look for us on YouTube. That's why we have it. And Steve, if we keep this up, do we have to call this the 2 a.m. meshnet? Anyway, we have 8, including myself. Had 8. We have 6 now. So maybe that's what you meant. Anyway, I do appreciate Dave being here, even if I couldn't hear him and he can't hear me. But next we'll go to Dale, and I'll hopefully hear Dale this time. AB9DW from KC9UDX.
Dale, it's your turn if you're still with us. AB9DW, NIFSC.
All right. Thank you, Dale. unfortunately, I didn't hear anything up until right there at the end when you turned it back over to me. But I will say 7-3 to you, and thank you for being here. The more of us there are, the better the net goes. Even if I'm the one that can't hear anybody. So I'll say 7-3 to you, Dale, if you can hear me. And next we'll go to Jim, KS9Q from KC9UDX.
Okay, KC9UDX. And this is KS9Q. Well, I can't hear Dale, and I can't hear, I can hear Dave, BWP, I cannot hear the other Dave. And I just got a little bit of carrier on Dale on the scope. So, and my antenna's probably just not quite where it needs to be for some of the more distant stations, but we're running just an omnidirectional antenna tonight. And I was working the space station. I was working from the car with my normal antenna, and I went out up on 59, so I had a little bit of a clear view of the sky, and it actually worked out pretty good. I was pretty pleased. So yeah, I think that's all I got for tonight. I'm going to head upstairs to chat with my wife before she heads to hay. We'll say 7:30 all the way around, and good hearing everybody tonight. Hopefully next time we do this, I will have the radio tweaked up a little bit, and we'll make sure that the transmit filters are set right and all that good stuff. 7-3. This is KS9Q. Back to that.
All right, thank you, Jim. I'll say 7-3 to you. And yeah, I can tell when both those guys are transmitting, even though I can't really hear them. This radio's got a very sensitive receiver. The biggest problem it's got is that the receive bandwidth is way too wide. And that's handy in some situations. It's nice to be able to tell when there's something going on adjacent. But for what I use this radio for, that's not practical. And I have a Q multiplier that I thought would be suitable to put in this radio. And I'm pretty sure I can do it. It's just a matter of being able to do it. And Steve had brought this up. I think we've been doing this for 11 years, possibly 12. I have regular logs going back to 2014. And I have irregular logs going back to August 2013. So I'm not sure if we were actually running the net in 2013 or not. But it's been a while. And it's been almost that long since I've intended to put that Q multiplier in this radio. But then again, when I first started the net, I was running a Communicator 2, which I deeply regret selling. I sold that for next to nothing, and that was a huge mistake. I wish I would have kept that. Anyway, we'll go next to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Well, with the 73 to everybody that's here this evening. Boy, the net's growing. And, yeah, I think it's bigger than a few of the 10-meter nets lately. Let's see here. Oh, that's Jim still listening there. He had a good signal from what I heard last night on space station. I heard the 13 Colonies guy, and I was just reaching for the microphone, and then I hear a call sign that I recognize. It's like, hey. Anyway, next weekend, the 19th, there's a CQ-VHF contest, the digital part. They broke it into analog and digital. Analog was last weekend. Digital is next weekend. and it's also an LRAC meeting, which is about fox hunting. They're going to talk about how you do it, and then they're going to do one. There's no meeting in August because on the very same day as the Racine Pre-Fest, Racine's in the morning, afternoon is the Mars and MRAC picnic. So, you get a hen fest in the morning, picnic in the afternoon. Complete with the world-famous HP talk. It's already been promised, yes, there will be an HP talk. And Carter will bring some of his barbecue to go along with the traditional brats and burgers and stuff. So there's a couple of upcoming things. And if you want to go to Lincoln, Nebraska, in 2 weeks is the Central States VHF Conference. I know going to Nebraska has been high up on my list. Anyway, that pretty much covers everything that I've got here. So I'll just say 73 once again to everybody out there. And this is WP9 BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. I'll say 7-3 to you. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I wish I was in a position to say, hey, I'll just go to Lincoln, Nebraska. But I'm not. Not even close. Someday, maybe. And that digital stuff, I've got 2 digital radios, and they're both a serious disappointment. I bought one to go with the other one, and I've only used the one, and very, very rarely have I ever used it. I don't like any part of it. I seriously regret buying it. Not just because it's digital, but because it doesn't do what I hoped it would do at all. But I think I've complained about that one on this net more than once. Anyway, I would say it's time for the 7-3 round, but there's potentially only 2 of us left here. We'll go back to the top of the list. Steve, N9FSE. I'm not sure if the other Dave checked out or not. So N9FSE from KC9UDX.
I'm planning on that PWP Dave mentioned the meetings and the fox hunt as well as the picnic. The picnic I'm looking forward to as well as that free fest. So if I can play radio at some of that, I'm not going to probably do anything with the digital CQVHF net. And the other Dave, I believe, is checked out, but that will be signed out, so maybe he's still there, maybe not. But I'm all pretty well spent on on news and views, so just great to hear from everybody. Good to see those that we saw recently. At least Dave and Carol at the Ham Fest, and had a blast seeing all kinds of hams through the field day weekend, and just that's a treat as well as this classic here. Thanks for doing it, Matt, and that's what we have. Is going to have to secure the station here and put everything back to normal business, which sometimes I forget, and then I got to make another trip out here and flip a switch, coax switch for the stuff. Usually the antenna that I'm on uses feeds some receivers. It's not a critical receiver, it's just monitor receivers, but still it's nice to have them all online, nice when I leave. So ideally I put the cap on the extension here, flip the switch, and it's all well. And it's also gotten a little louder in here. I don't know, I think I probably have finally got the audio set right. It's not picking all of it up, but the fan's up and running, and the air conditioning is running when I got here, but now conditions are such that it's cool enough outside. Humidity must not be too out of hand that it's pulling in the outdoor air. Makes a nice breeze in here a little bit, so. But I'm sure it's drier with the AC. So with that, back to Nat. Thanks again, and thanks for all the participants. And what I meant by the 6, that's when we had 6 back when I just got Dave in here. Then we added on Jim and Dave 1, Dave 2. Shake is Dave 2, but oh well, or something like that. Back to you, Matt. This is N9FSE at New Berlin. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. Well, I got to say that the fan is not taking over your audio like it used to. If that's the same fan, you're doing something right. My air conditioning and dehumidifiers are running here, and it does interfere with my listening a little bit, but not too bad. I'm sure you can't. Excuse me. I'm sure you can't hear them. I'm far enough away, and it's in the wrong direction that it won't pick up on the microphone. But as always, thanks everyone for being here. We wouldn't have a net if it was just me, or it'd be a very, very awful net. It has happened. There's been a couple of months in the past when I couldn't get anybody to check in, and I tried. But this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag through on this frequency after my transmission. We will meet again on the 12th of August. We are well beyond the middle of the year. Days are getting shorter. Not by much, but they are getting shorter. And until next month, this is KC9UDX 73, and good night.